Alright guys, I'm got a video to make. Well, I got an issue actually. It's a Prius 2010 Prius with 113,000 miles, about there, 13 and a half. And the traction battery has went to the pooper. I got a code. Forgot exactly what it was, but it was a code for that traction battery. I think it was a AA or 0A80 or something like that. But anyways, so I plugged in my OBD2 from the torque, and this is the individual, well, pairs of cells. 14, which was, there's 28 total individual cells, modules. And looks like this is actually just a screenshot I did when I was doing some testing on what's going on. But if you notice that my 10 voltage, the bank 10, the lowest value as I was driving around was 12.7, which is significantly lower than the rest of them. I mean, we got a few low ones here and there. There's a 13.2 on and a 13.1, but that's the weakest one right there. This is a 3rd gen Prius. It's actually the nicer one with the package 5 with the LED lights and all that fancy stuff, the radar cruise control and all that goodies right there. You can tell the sensor, the parking, self-parking sensor thingamajigger. So, Marcus, what do you think? Can we do this? We're gonna take the battery apart, which is back here. Oh boy, let's get to work. Alright, so we got all the stuff out of the back. The next part would be to get all this off and disconnect the 12-volt battery. So we got our little setup here, so we have some room to work with. Marcus, you excited? It's gonna be a project, a little bit of a project here. So that's the next thing we're gonna do. We're gonna remove all these plastics. Here, you want to put this somewhere?
Sure. Where?
And just put it on the table for now. And then this guy here, and then there's a spare underneath, but I don't think we need to touch that. But there's a 12-volt battery on this side, I think. Yes, here it is. So we need to disconnect the terminal before we start working on anything. Alright, so I disconnected the positive terminal right here, as you can see. So next thing will be to take out this orange plug, I guess. Not sure exactly. Okay, you just pull it that way. I guess that locks in, that locks out. And then you just twist it. Booyah. That's the orange plug that disconnects all the high voltage power. Okay, so probably want to put these seats down here. Next thing is to take this thing off. I think it's on clips. I started pulling on it already. Yeah, you can see the clips in there. So I guess the key here is not to break anything. Okay, well, I'm popping this thing off. Just a note, there is a 10mm bolt right there underneath this guy, right there. Okay, after you get that cover off the battery, so you will see all this jazz here. There's some plastic things. This is actually my first time doing this, so I'll try to do the best I can, but it looks like I just need to take these plastic covers off. There we go. One plastic cover. The clips are left in, so I might want to, probably need to get them out. There's one here, one here. I don't know what that is. Looks like here's the fan. We'll look at it, because some people say it might need to be cleaned up, but anyways, here's another piece of plastic right here. Alright, another note on these little yellow clips things. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to stick something, you see where these two arrows are? Right in between the arrow, there's a little pocket. So if you stick something in between and just pry it, it'll pop right up. So that's what I did. It has to be something pretty thin though. Not sure, there might be another way to get them off, but that's the way I can get them pretty easily. So this should come up now, I think. Let's see here. Put the camera down, sorry. There it goes. So the cover's off, and we've got ourselves, looks like the computer, the relays, and all the good stuff, resistors. That's what it looks like. This looks like a ceramic resistor or something. And yeah, so I'm guessing this is the output and the input. I guess somewhere around here. Oh, I guess this is it right here. These two guys right there are the inputs. There should be no power, but because it breaks the battery somewhere in half around there. So okay, after probing here and there with that voltmeter right there, I am not getting any voltage anywhere on these wires. No voltage out here, output. No voltage here, which is the input. I'm thinking because it's coming from the battery right here. That's it. That's all the main wires. So it looks like we're good to roll. And here I can't even probe because the plug won't let me. There's no bare wire, bare terminals anywhere. So next I'm gonna go ahead and take this cover off, which we got another one of these little guys here. There it goes. Just pops that out, pops out like that once you wedge it in there, and that's it. Should come right off. That's how you get those off. Alright guys, so once you get all these nuts off and a few bolts here and there and all over there, this cover should come right off. Let's see here. There we go. Let's put this over there. And there's our batteries, folks. Just by looking at them, they all look pretty much okay. Nothing exploded or doesn't seem to be swollen. Alright, so taking off these covers looks pretty logical. This little clips here. There we go. And they're out. Let's see what the condition. Ooh, actually kind of corroded somewhat. Interesting. I was not expecting that. I wonder if that has anything to do with the performance, or they just corroded. Well, in any case, I guess we'll know once we get to it. Here's where the battery breaks. These two leads right here go to there. Alright guys, so I took off the first strip here. So there's a small strip here, the breakaway, and then the little one here. So here's the one that I got out. You can tell that there's definitely corrosion going on. So we'll have to clean those puppies up. Alright guys, so here's the next project. The next project is to measure every cell, which is 28 of them. So you're going to need a paper or something to write with, or to record these numbers so you know what you're looking at. So I got 28 here. So I'm going to start with number 1, coming from the computer this way all the way to 28. So let's measure the first one. I got an alligator clip on this side. That side I have not took off the terminals yet because I don't need to measure it. So I'm going to hold it on the first one. So it's showing 7.75. So that's my first reading. Number 1 is 7.75. That's what I'm going to put on number 1. And I'm going to continue all the way down until I get all of them registered, and I'll see what I can find. Alright guys, so I went through every cell, 1 through 28, and this is what I got. So these are groups. And then, you know, each group. So basically, according to my meter, I mean, what I captured on the phone was number 10 was going low, and precisely it was. This is my lowest cell right now, 7.3. So, you know, it's quite a bit off. Now the rest of them are not too bad, as you can see. This is okay. Okay. It goes down, down, down. This is 53, okay. Kind of jumps up a little bit, but it's within 0.1, whatever. All of them. with M.1. The only thing that's questionable is these 5s right here. There's two 7.5. Alright, so basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this battery out, because there's no good way to work on it anyways inside the car. I'm just gonna put it on that table over there and work on it there. So I'm guessing I'm gonna have to get some plugs out and get some bolts out. Bigger bolt here. Alright, so after you get all the nuts out, which is here too, then unplug everything, loosen all these wires from where they're connecting. What else? So I took this off right here, and there's a panel here, a piece of plastic that holds that. So, and then there are bolt here, and the bolt here and in there. Kind of see it, maybe. Anyways, there's a bolt here and there. It basically holds this bracket right here. So once you get all that out, the battery should be ready to just come out. It's kind of heavy though. So if you have a buddy, you might need some help. If you don't have a buddy, you can slowly get it out yourself. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to pick it up and set it on the table. There it is. Next step is to take all these terminals off. So then to get this brace off. And then we will go from there. Soaking up the nuts from the batteries that are corroded, and some vinegar. Seems to be working pretty good. They're gassing off. Alright guys, so I got the bus bar off, and I got the bracket off on the bottom, and I peeled back these ventilation hoses because I need to get to this one. So I gotta get to here, so that's my bad one. I guess I need to unscrew these next, these 4 bolts that compress the whole battery back together. And then I got little screws under, bolts under here to unscrew on each side. I think they're 8mm right here on each side of the cells modules, and then they'll come loose and I'll be able to move them around. So alright guys, so I busted this open and I pulled the little screws out, and they came out pretty easy. They just slid right out. Had to go up though over this little bracket here, but was fairly easy. I labeled them each one so I can keep track of which one was which, so I know the voltages on all of them. This is the one that's bad right here. It's number 19. So yeah, I want to see if I can get a little load test and see what happens. Alright guys, I'm going to put a load on here. I just got this transformer here. Unfortunately, I don't have too good of a load, but it draws about 4 amps, so it's a pretty decent load on this guy. So let's see, right now it's reading 7.3, so I'm gonna connect it here so it constantly reads, and then I'm gonna put the load on right away and we'll see what happens. Let's see how fast it drops from 733. Look at that, 2 volts. It does not stand a chance. It just goes straight to 0. So this is definitely a bad cell. Alright, so this is the number 8 cell, so it's pretty good. So it's at what, 7.77. So let's see how fast it goes down with this 4 amp load. There we go. Holding steady. That's how it's supposed to be. I don't want to keep it too long. I got pretty thin wires here, so yeah, it's holding a load. That's the whole point. Alright guys, as I'm messing around with them, definitely number 20 is weak and number 19 is shot for sure. So this definitely is the culprit. This is weak. That was right next to it. So I'm gonna probably change these 2 because I only have 2. I only torch cells. If I would have had ordered 3, I would have changed number 16. So which is right here. I'm actually got it parallel right now with number 1, so it charges it up a bit. I'm going to do a little load test on it and see how she does after I charge it. So this is the new 19 that I put in there. This is one of the new cells. I actually got this from eBay. And then the other one's right there. It's getting a little bit of a charge, and then I'm going to do a load test on it, make sure it's pretty good before I put it in here. Alright guys, alright. I've been working on it for a while here. So basically what I did was I put in 19 and 20 here there. So that's 19 and 20. Okay guys, it's almost dark already outside, or getting there. So basically, well, let me see, turn on some lights here. Okay, here we go. I basically wired every single cell in series. I'm sorry, in parallel. That took forever. So this is one huge 7.64 volt battery right now. With a lot of amperage. But anyways, yeah, so it's all wired in nicely. Okay, so I'm just charging the whole pack as one right now. Equal voltage on each one. And then we'll put it in the car tomorrow. Take off all these wires. And yeah, I still have to clean all the connectors and everything. So, but that's it for today. It's a pretty long day today. I probably spent about 6 hours today on this. But anyways, gonna clean up here and start over tomorrow. Alright guys, so it's the next day and the battery's been sitting. I charged it for about 3 hours with just a 1 amp charge to kind of get the voltage up a little bit higher than it was. And then I unplugged it, and so overnight it was basically leveling all the cells together. And so now this morning, about 12 hours later, it is all this voltage. So 7.8, it's like 7.80, 7.81. It's literally right on it. Actually, most of them are all the same. So it's very, very equalized now. So it does take some time for it to equalize, but it will equalize eventually. So the next step is, and actually last night I also cleaned all the terminals here and all these bolts and soaked them in vinegar. It's actually vinegar and salt, and then I just scrubbed them with the with like a steel wool. So they're pretty good. Leads here, and put it all back together. Basically, are working in reverse order now. So not too bad, not too bad. I'm very happy how these all equalize perfectly. So hopefully they'll stay that way, and it will be a successful job. But yeah, basically, you can see how I did it. I stripped little pieces at a certain amount every way. This seemed to be the most logical, economical way to do it. So maybe not the best way, but that's all I had on hand to do it with. So. Alright guys, so I got all my connectors on. And I'm going to actually put some clear coat on top of these nuts. You can see that they're pretty clean overall. I cleaned them a bit, but I want to seal them up with some clear coat. That way they don't keep rusting, if you know what I mean. Alright, I'm trying to film here a little bit. I need to put the battery back in. Yep. Sucker's pretty heavy. Yeah, that's it. It's sitting right where it needs to be. Pretty much. Yep. Hopefully you'll be able to see something, but whew. Sucker's pretty heavy, but it's in. So Put the caps already on and everything, so now I just gotta reassemble all the ins and outs. All these plugs here have to go, and then the clips, this fan, and then this guy here. There's the pieces from that. So, yep, here's where the bolt goes in, right there. So sitting right on the right spot, pretty much. So yeah, pretty simple enough, I guess. All right, so the covers are on. All the covers are on and tight. So next step, what I wanted to talk about, well, I guess next step would be to put the positive on. Actually, it probably doesn't matter. Actually, let's put the plug in. But yeah, I wanted to talk about the plug. So here's the deal with the plug. You plug it in, however it goes. Wait, probably this. There we go. Put it in, and you twist it, and you put it in like this, right? And a lot of people think it's done, and this is a mistake that could happen. If you remember, it needs to go in like that. If you leave it like this, it's still not connected. So make sure you go all the way to the end like this, so the connection is made. So now that the connection is made, the battery is connected, and there's 240 volts coming out of it. So let's put on our, double check everything, make sure your wiring is all connected everywhere. This is the computer and everything, so looks like everything's good. The output wires over there are connected. Obviously everything's connected. So after you get all that done, then put on your 12 volt terminal, tighten it up, and then cross your fingers and hope everything's gonna work. Okay guys, before I start the car, I want to put this OBD2 reader thing in the car, which is right around here somewhere, right there, and get that thing to start booting up. So what I want to do is I want to connect to it before I even crank the car and make sure that the connections are all good. Okay, so we're going to open the torque app, volume, and let's see, profile, Prius. Okay, it's not reading it yet. So we'll go to real time gauges here, and that's all of our status on the battery right now. Now look at that voltage, guys. All the same, 15.6. That's when you know you did something right. Awesome. So the car seems to be happy overall. The battery level on the car, at least is what it says. Have this thing with focus. There we go. It's pretty good. So it's 118 volts right now, which is about medium low, about medium power. So there you go, 15.6 on all the cells. So yeah guys, just as I predicted, these batteries, the new ones, are a little bit better than my old pack. So as the voltage goes down, 222 now on the battery volt, you can see how much closer it is now together. It's 0.678, so it's really close. So as it goes down and down, it's going to equalize. This battery pack will equalize with these eventually as it gets to the bottom. So they're all equal, it's just the charge rate going up changes them because of how much charge each battery can take. Some of them take more, some of them take less, I guess, so depending on the condition of the battery. But yeah, this is close enough that you can tell all the stack batteries are very close together, and this new one is a little bit off. Well, right now it's very close too. It's about 1 or 2 off, so yeah, this is perfect. This is like exactly what you want, because under load you will be definitely in the less than 200, like 210 volts, so it'll be perfect then. So yeah, very happy, I think. So I will know better from the once we use the car and see how it does. Alright guys, so it's been almost a week since I had the batteries been repaired, and it's actually doing very good. I have not got any kind of codes or anything, so let me connect it to the car and I'll show you guys in a second what the battery readings are. Everything seems to be good so far, except for that number 10, but I guess that's our new battery, so that's why it's so high. There's more energy stored in it, so, but it's not way off, so, because we got some 15s over here. So anyways, it fixed my problem. Hopefully it'll last for a while. Thanks for watching, and if this helped you, thumbs up. All right.